This is a DJ Foreman Show.
Welcome back to the Team Nerd Herd podcast, where our best advice is if you want to do it right, elect what you like. But on this segment of Dropping the Mic, it's read what you like, y'all. I'm super excited today, guys. I'm super excited. Y'all know if you guys have joined us on the first episode of Dropping the Mic, we got an advanced reading of Black Cotton 2. So before we go ahead and introduce our guest, let's go ahead and get into this roll call. We'll go ahead and holler at the word chat, and then we'll introduce our guest, y'all. So, Alonzo, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
Not much. You know what? As always, Steve, you're just bringing it. I cannot wait for today's guest, and also the book. I mean, I can't wait to talk about it. It's amazing. So yeah. As you guys know, this is Alonzo, aka Comics and Pops. I am your comic book nerd and also your pop culture fanatic. And again, I can't wait, Steve. Can't wait.
Me either, man. And it's your boy Steve, aka Hip Hop Send Me _comics_collectibles. And I'm your 1/12 scale collector, comic book lover, chaser of all things nostalgic. And in this case, super excited fanboy, guys. I am ready to rock. So without further ado, let's go ahead and holler at the herd chat. And then we'll go ahead and introduce our guest, y'all. I got a humdinger of an introduction. Something Wong. You know something white's going to happen. Herd Familia, moderator to the herd, and greatest familia ever, man. Much love to Something Wong. Always, my brother. Zen Multiverse, coming from the multiverse to Zen, bringing it back, peace and all. My brother, thank you so much. Y'all go ahead and check his channel. He's been playing some Soul Calibur. Not Soul Calibur. It's with Soul Bad Guy. I'm doing it. Guilty Gear. All right. D-Anime, etc. My brother, etc. I say. My anime brother, I should say. Yo, my man's going to be on JR's show very, very soon. Tim Stacy, Masterpiece Making. Tim Stacy, what's going on, my brother? My real brother, blood brother, Eric the Phoenix, coming from the ashes and rising to the sky. Oh, bravo, my man, bravo. Breaker. What's going on, Bravo Comics? Much love. Thank you for joining us. Chamorro Cinema Station. Ooh, that's a technicality. Hit the mic. Station, my brother. So you got me stationing all over the place. Astro Wizard, my brother, what's going on? Coming down from the Astro Plains down to the wizardry. Jason, Claiming Comics, what's going on, my brother? You know he's claimed somewhere. Cosmic Campfire, what's going on, my brother? Winner, chicken dinner, man. He was the last winner to our giveaway. And are we caught up, Alonzo? I think we are, right?
Looks like.
All right,
I'm excited.
guys.
Let's go.
All right, this is our guest, guys. Again, first appearance for first guest on Dropping the Mic. You guys know, first episode was Black Cotton 2. Without further ado, we got the creators of Black Cotton, y'all. Now, you know Brian Hawkins, you know Devil's Dominion, you know The Lover, The Liar, and The Lunatic, coming soon to a theater near you. All right, or not to a comic book store near you. And we also got co-creator also as well. Patrick Foreman is in the building. Brian Hawkins in the building. Go ahead and give him a round of applause. Warm welcome, my brothers. Woo! Coming in.
Guys, what's up?
What's going on, man? Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Oh man, we are super excited to have you guys. I'm like anxious. Alonzo, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was like, you know what? Seriously, thank you, fellas, for joining us, for coming on our show, and how you guys doing this Sunday evening?
I'm tired. but Brian knows I'm a avid ultimate frisbee player. Every Sunday, 2:00, I'm out there and they wore me out today. We played 3 games and it was no joke. They had me running all over the place.
Yeah, man, that's taking it to the limit, bro.
Oh yeah. But I was watching the clock. I was like, hey, we got to end this game so I can get home and do the interview. Cause I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting all week for this.
Same here, guys.
Yeah. Just on a Sunday chill, and I'm an avid whiskey drinker. So my Sunday evening, I just got through fixing some dinner for the family, and hey.
That's it, man. Cheers to you. Cheers to you guys. So let's talk Black Cotton 3. I want to give the herd a little rundown because we did go over episode 1 and 2. If you guys did not catch that, I strongly suggest you check that episode. Check the rewind. Let's talk about episode 2, issue 2, and where we left off. Okay. This was a real cliffhanger because I mean, you guys see Zion starting to kind of the weight on his shoulders is starting to kind of cave in. You know, he is sparring with his friend. He's punching his friend out. There's a argument. It just becomes hectic for him. And I think the walls are caving in and he does the unthinkable. You know, you see the closing panel of him going towards the hospital, guys. Yeah. And you know, in most cases, it would not be a good thing, right? There's a lot of publicity involved. There's just, you know, picketing and everything like that. So, and you got the family trying to kind of mingle with the Nightingales and trying to work things out, but it gets very hectic. You know, the family is not having it. They are lawyering up, and they're upset. You know, like their daughter's been shot, and it's really sinking in. So there's a lot to go on. But issue 3, oh my God! You guys, again, let me say, both of you guys do a great job at closing out the comic and leaving you wanting more. It's just a thing that happens where you're reading and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Same with the second issue. Alonzo and I were like, I mean, again, Brian, I was trying to lift my laptop up, look for some extra pages. And I was just like, oh my God. But issue 3 opens up, guys. Your mind is here. You're here. What's going on, Dave? Collects. Yeah. BLCC. Okay, so you're coming into the panel and you see Zion just furious. And I think that's where it opens up, where you're thinking, okay, the walls are caving in. What is he doing? You know, he went to go to the hospital and it makes you believe that he's going to reconcile. He's going to apologize for what he's done. And that's exactly what he's doing, guys. But again, you guys do great in closing, and this was a great opening because your state of mind is like, oh my God, he's going to the hospital. No. and he's yelling, and there's a lot of anger behind things. He's just saying, was it not wrong to go visit them? I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and it wasn't about race. It was about just I did not mean to shoot her. I'm sorry. And you find out that he's with his family, and they are arguing. His father, Elijah, is just fuming, and he's trying to, like a father to a son, trying to make sense of like, hey, this is more than what you want. Shout out to Nonoga Comics. This is more than what you want. And it's a bigger picture. It's about this family, our lineage, what was built. And, you know, and he kind of loses it, you know, like he goes, you know, very racial, you know, and his son is like, everybody's surprised. It's really just a sinking feeling where, you know, like it becomes uncomfortable. And, you know, you have Elijah saying, and I'm the one that's supposed to be racist or pegged as racist. There's a motherly moment where the mother's trying to reason with him. And the bigger picture is, guys, they're talking business. I mean, the Cottons are a business. You know, there is something bigger in the picture here, and you can really identify with that because you work so hard to build a foundation, and in this case, it seems like it's an empire. It's something bigger than what is them. You know, and they are trying to save it. They're trying to hold and kind of tie in those loose ends to make sure they don't lose it. And you know, it's
walk that line.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
Elijah, because you know he has the business that he's trying to protect, the reputation, and then he still has, this is my son, you know, and he has to wrestle with all of those emotions too. And then Zion, going back to something that you stated, a lot of people probably they were shocked that we wrote in that he actually was going to the hospital. And we sort of discussed this. Me and Brian, we've had thousands of conversations, you know, and one of the things that we mix in to black kind is that it's not, if you want change, then you have to give an example for people to see. And a lot of times in reality, what do we see? We see something that happens between an officer and a civilian, and there's no remorse. There's no, like, you know what? I messed up. I'm sorry. It is always this hiding behind the union, hiding behind the lawyers. The cop is on administrative leave or still working. And it's like, didn't you just kill somebody? Didn't you just shoot somebody? Don't you feel something?
Yeah, definitely.
So if we want people to feel something, then we have to show them an example of it. And that's something that we really stuck to our guns with Zion. Zion is not one of those that you see in reality. Zion is what we want to see in reality.
Exactly. Yes. And I totally like that dynamic, because I think Alonzo and I were talking about this earlier, and we're saying, well, like it's kind of like the circumstances. What, like, to Patrick's point, what you're seeing is not that. And you guys, it makes me feel for Zion, because I know he is kind of going through this, and he means well. It has nothing to do with that circumstance. It's just he genuinely feels bad. And Alonzo, you were talking about that behind the backstage, and kind of give us a little insight on what you thought as well.
So, Patrick, I totally agree with you. Just offering in real life, like, hey, I'm sorry, it was my mistake, would go a long way to the families, just to everybody. So I liked how, his mission is like, I'm going to go to the hospital because I know I made a mistake. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to do this. One, I was like, dude, this guy's a stand-up guy. Like he's doing the right thing. And then in my head, I'm like, oh my God, you know what?
Yeah, you just can't.
Something bad's going to happen.
Right.
I just know it.
You're like,
this bad's going to happen.
Work out.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my God. But it felt good for him to take ownership of that mistake, right. To actually go in there and just said, you know what, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. And you know what, it made me feel good, for him to take ownership of that and just said, you know what, I just wanted to admit that I made a mistake. And I thought, oh my God, this was great. And I like the reaction too from her. Yeah. And it's just like, she's freaking out because, it's traumatizing. And so she's just like, oh my God, what are you doing here?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, you guys nailed it. That whole like just interaction, it's so real.
Yeah. And the emotion behind it. Brian, do you have anything to add? Like, we're talking and I see you there, and I know you're like, I got some things I want to say, but please, let's hear your take on it. I mean, I want to hear it.
I honestly just love hearing all of that. And there's so much, like, it's spot on, like across the board. Who Zion is, who he's trying to be. I think there's an element of, I'm not sure, that Zion fully knows like everything that went into that shot. Like we've had so many discussions, and what Patrick and I have come to is like, there's no concrete way to say A, B, C, here's what happened. And which goes back to issue 1, where Kia was like, hey, implicit bias. She put that out there. But Zion is still seeing, this story, seeing the events through his eyes. And in his, he's trying to justify, he's trying to right or wrong all through his perception. And that's what Patrick and I, we indulge in, is perception. And these characters have a perception of themselves, and then we in turn as readers are having a perception of them, and so we're all perceiving, and it's just a microcosm of what this world is. Like perception rules reality, and we all have so many different views that, you know, we're always crossing each other, blending, mixing, and we're trying to find the one truth. And I think that, you know, what's happening with Black Cotton, especially with Zion, is that, you know, is there one truth, or is there multiple truths happening, or is there no truth at all? And so we, you know, Zion is for us, you know, he's one of the main vehicles in the story for us to look at perception, and which reflects back to us in this human condition that we're in, and the events and experiences that we have in this real world. So he's our vehicle for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's totally about perception, and just like the patriarch of the family, he knows that, and he's just like, you know what, don't do anything. We need to figure this thing out, because you know it's gonna look bad on us as a family, as a business. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real.
Yeah, Elijah values, and then it comes down to perception to value. And Elijah values his family and what they've built more than Elizabeth, more than the race. He values their family, their race, their business more than Elizabeth's family, race, and whatever they're into. And that's what it comes down to. And he's like, look, you're jeopardizing what I do value, and I'm not having it, you know. And I think, you know, we, you know, that's how we act as human beings. You know, what we value is what we pursue.
I think I'm a retired Marine, so I'm gonna use a term that we utilize in wartime, which a lot of people, when we go to war, they really don't, you know, think about it, but it's a natural thing for us. There's going to be collateral damage, meaning you can't go to war and expect no innocent to get in the crossfire. It's going to happen. And I believe that's what Elijah views Elizabeth, the Nightingales, as. They're just collateral damage, you know, in his world. He's like, they're not that valuable to me or my family.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you know,
Patrick's point,
he's thinking, he's like, and if you had stayed in the business and not become a police officer, then guess what? They wouldn't have became collateral damage. So he's wrestling with a lot of things internally, while he's also trying to, you know, make sure that Kia is doing what she's supposed to do. And then, as you already know, they're dealing with another, you know, issue.
Oh my God. So let's talk about that. But even to Patrick's point, I want to say you really see Elijah in that scenario. And I was going to say the same thing. Like there's collateral damage there, and it's an uncertainty, but they don't care. I mean, they're talking amongst the family, and they're saying, what kind of things do we got on Elizabeth and the Nightingales? Right. And that's where you see the brother-in-law come in, guys. And you know, like there's a spoiler alert, guys. If you guys want to, we give you about 10 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and say hit the mute now, or we go ahead and kind of unload this, guys, because it's aside from like this being very insightful and seeing the other side of things, guys. And your perspective is everything. So you got to go in reading, make sure you find those fine details. The black and white and grays do wonders for it, because I think it focuses you in on the story, and it's keen to your eye. You might be missing certain things, but guys, go ahead and hit that mute.
I got a question for both of y'all, though.
Okay.
What was your reaction to the B word?
The B word.
Oh man,
not the N word, the B word.
yeah. No, you know, I totally picked that up, because I'm like, you know, like you're Elijah just kind of lost it, and you see all of their reactions, like, oh my God, he took it there, and I was just like, you know, like I'm trying to like I know what in reality, like for my reality, it's like, oh no, you know. But in comics, it's like you're like, okay, I can see that happening because there's just so many lines that are crossed, and I was just like, oh, it's just my. If you could have put Steve's face in a panel, it would have been like, oh, too right. I was just like, oh my god, you know, like Alonzo, what was your reaction?
No, I was just like, I mean that's how it was. I was.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't. I was. Yeah. It just it fit the scene. It fit everything. But I was just like I was taken aback. I was taken aback. But I was like, but it fit everything.
Right.
You know, because sometimes people just toss in just stuff
Right.
willy nilly, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like they just put it there for shock factor, but there's no reason behind it.
Right.
So it was like yeah.
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 I mean, yeah. I mean,
When me and
that
Brian,
goes to, yeah.
man, when we were talking about it, that was another reason why we was like issue number 3.
We can't wait for issue 3. Yeah. Because they really
Here's this, guys. Issue number 3. You guys need to
Oh,
pick this up. If it's not already on your pull list, it needs to be. Like you need to talk to your LCS. Make sure they get Black Cotton from Scout Comics, in the store and on your pull list.
Please.
Brian,
yeah,
Brian,
please.
you were adding.
Well,
I don't want to stop the
like-
steam here.
Like,
Let's
it's one
go.
of the things where, like, if you could be a fly in the wall, right? Of like, in our world, like, can you be on a fly on the wall in some of these conversations where things are heated between families and some of the things that could be said, but you never know if they're said or not. But what Patrick and I wanted to do was, be true to the characters and who they are, and for them to represent, symbolize, parallel what is in our world. And at the end of the day, they're a family, and they know who Elijah is. Elijah know who they are, and Elijah is the kind of guy that he's the patriarch. He's going to speak his mind. He's going to say what he feel. He's a leader. This is who he is, and you're going to accept it because he's Elijah Cotton. He's your father. He's your husband. He's and he says it, and this isn't the first. Most likely, this isn't the first time he said it.
Right.
But for Zion and what he's dealing with, and everyone has a feeling about it. Jaleesa, Kia, Zion, they all have their take of when he says it because they understand. Yeah, this is something that Elijah would say. But wait a second, you're saying it now, and there's this reaction. And Patrick and I, we've just been sitting on our hands, itching for issue 3 because of like so much is revealed through dialogue, through the paneling. What's interesting though is that maybe 10 panels before that, he says to Zion, he says, "This Negus."
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that, you have a great contrast, because, in this reality, Negus is parallel to, I mean, of course, it's a play off of, like this nigga right here, but it's Negus, and it's translated directly. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, not that he's listening, but that actually, it was. I mean, he could be though, right? And so it was Kendrick Lamar who brought that term to our attention, and we thought, let's use this positive term in this universe to reflect that what when another black person is talking to a black person, like they'll say Negus, like to really build them up instead of bringing them down. Yeah. And so he does that for his son. But then 10 panels later, he's like, the B word.
Yeah, out the window, right?
Yeah.
And I think
collateral damage.
Yes. And on this first episode, when we were talking about the first episode of Black Cotton issue 2, I said, like I appreciated the writing. I mean, it takes it's just ballsy. I mean, to put it out there, to be able to highlight the like the topics and current events that are kind of going on like right now in our peripheral, in our features and everything like that. And then like to be able to really put the spin on things, and then just character build. And this, the best thing about like the issue 3, guys, I'll say, is you're taking all this in, and like these are current events, this is a great story, that this is a whole spin on things, you're feeling for the Cottons and the family. And the Nightingales, you kind of see them in a different light, because they're not reasonable, they're just chaotic, and they're not even like taking considerations for things, because you see Zion trying to make sense with Elizabeth and the family, just get away, get them out of here.
It's good.
And yeah, and that's the other thing, you see that because if your child was hurt, you're going to be the same reaction. I mean, you're going to be enraged, and you're going to want retribution, and you're going to want to make sure that your child is safe. So I see that play as well. But guys, I mean, they open up the world, because as we're talking about the Cottons and what they've built, and you kind of see this panel where brother-in-law comes in, and he's talking to his Elijah and sister, and he's saying, like, hey, so I got some stuff on Elizabeth Knight, collateral damage, and you start to work this out. They have things kind of in the works, they're kind of rolling things out, but then they talk about their business ventures. And this is where it gets to part where you're thinking just of the Cottons view, the Nightingales, and then it just world builds, it explodes. That, I mean, guys, this is why I tell you guys to get issue 3, because this is like real pivotal. I mean, you're getting the story, you're getting the reactions of what you left off on. It's opening you up, and you're like, oh my God, I'm right in the center of it. And then you get a bunch of story and dialogue amongst the family, and then the end. The end is just like, oh my God, who is this person? What kind of business venture is going on? What do we got going on in this panel? And the fact that it's black and white, and it makes it very descriptive. So you're zeroed in. You're just like, where's issue 4? Alonzo, what was your take on it?
No, I mean, it's that whole black and white. I mean, I totally agree with the art style and everything, because I mean, it kind of focuses you more on the dialogue and the story than the art. But there are also some little nuances too that brings things up. I mean, in issue 3, I mean, the family's having that dialogue, but in the back, I mean, you see the like TV panel, and then you see people holding up signs like WLM, and you're like, oh, I mean, it's like so real for them.
Shout out to Marco.
Just seeing this, just like it's so real for us, in today's world when we see BLM, and we're just like, like, hey, this is something that we, got to gather around and just do this, so it's all these little nuances. Like I really enjoy it. I enjoy all of these things that you guys have switched in this book, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean, it really is. And again, I probably would have missed it if it was done in color, because a lot of times you just focus on the art and you just kind of move on. You just read the little word bubbles, but because it's black and white, you want to fill all that stuff in, and it's definitely a draw.
Appreciate
it does. It makes you focus on like these other things that are kind of in the background, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, this is so real.
It taking it to another level too for me when I was looking at like black and white, and then like the shades of gray. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I look at it like you see the black and white, but then you see the gray areas. And that's where you guys are talking about, the gray areas that are unspoken, but you guys have put it out there. And I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe.
No, you're spot on.
I might have. Maybe,
okay. You're right.
No, you're spot on. Marco, he, I mean, he's nothing short of magical on this, in that he's caught the vision. Like, he understands the vision. Like, what Patrick and I was trying to put forward, he's grabbed it and he's throwing it. You know, this is his canvas, and you know, he understands what the story is. He's put himself and his perception and his values into it. And you know, while we, you know, have created it and it's coming from our mind, you know, he's bringing it to life. And the way he's bringing it to life is because he sees our vision and he's become a part of the vision. So I have like a background in religion, et cetera, et cetera. And so one of the things that I keep coming back to with this story is like, there's a scripture that says, you know, write the vision and make it plain. And I feel like, you know, that's what Patrick and I, you know, have attempted to do, write the vision. And Marco is making it plain. He's making it seen. He's making it understood. And, you know, it's just live in action.
It's powerful. It is powerful is what that is, because I don't see, you know, like not that I don't see it happening, but it's a good thing to see people stand up for these things, and have a different platform, right? Because comic books is everything. It's our ever child, right? And how you go about delivering the messages, that is a very smart thing to do, because it's like we all love comic books. We all love heroics and a message and the buildup of everything, and just to be better human beings. I think you read comics because you want to be a piece of that hero. But to be able to see it and to be able to deliver it in comics, it could help our comic community and even our community, our world, really kind of make you cognizant of what this is. I mean, because a comic's a great thing to do to allow you to read. I used to hate reading, you know, but I look at it like I'm not even on that level. I look at it as a message. I'm like, let's deliver a message, and these guys are delivering a message. I think it's, like I said, I think it's a ballsy thing. It's a revolutionary thing. It's a powerful message you guys are delivering, guys. So I know that there's a lot of questions that we have, but I know our herd chat has some questions about this. If you guys have read Black Cotton, definitely go ahead and drop your questions to Brian and Patrick. And it could be, you know, projects that they're doing in the future as well. But we want to talk about Black Cotton. We want to make sure that you guys get ready for Wednesday. Make sure you guys have it on your pull. Again, make sure your LCS knows that you want to pre-order this, or that you have pre-ordered this. I know I bought mine through Golden Apple, and I have been, you know, like I've been on top of this title. I've been, you know, talking to Alonzo about it. We have been singing Brian and Patrick's praises for quite some time, guys. So let's go ahead and get some questions from the herd group chat. I'll go ahead and get it started. So aside from how many issues are we expecting in Black Cotton? If there's going to be like a second arc, and are we in store for more? Because I gotta believe that Scout Comics is like, hey, we're on board. Like, we want to build this world. We want to go on this journey with you and revolutionize as well. So let me. That's my question. Sorry for rambling.
Hit it, Patrick.
Here's what I'll say. Me and Brian, and I hope I'm not, you know, saying anything that Brian be like, you know, we always talk after every interview. But I'll say this much.
Say it. Just say it.
Brian already been working up to issue number 24 already.
Oh my
you know,
God.
so
That's
it's
awesome.
an ongoing with several arcs, and you're going to see even more of the world opening up. So definitely it's an ongoing, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna just put this out there. If you think this first arc is crazy, wait till the second arc. Oh man.
Yeah. You guys already got me on this.
Really gonna blow people's minds.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
That's true.
That 24, you got the herd chat saying 24 issues. Let's go.
Yeah, it's true. We you know, we have the green light for a volume 2 for sure. We like Patrick said, you know, we have a plan up through 24. Potentially more maybe, but we definitely have it planned for up to 24 and what we want to do. And we do have the green light from Scout for volume 2. So
that is awesome. That is awesome. I can't wait. But I have a question for you guys because everything's done in black and white and gray.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, are you guys going to add like just a piece of color just here and there just to kind of amplify things? You know, a smidgen of red maybe like somewhere.
Color splash.
You know, yeah, just
no.
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 Not in black kite.
Because there are no color lines, bro.
Exactly.
You
enjoy the covers.
Right. We operate in the gray. Like Steve said, we operate in the gray. So yeah, there is no color in black kite.
You guys have no idea how great this makes me feel because I was asking Brian, like I never want to offend a creator or a writer or someone that cultivates this because it's like I have a total appreciation for it. So I asked Brian, I said, you can tell me like if I'm wrong. Please enlighten me, please educate me. So I am all ears. And he was like, no, brother, you on the right track. And I was just like Barry Horowitz, WWF, patting myself on the back style. You know what I mean? But I'm so hyped. I'm like so excited for 24 issues. I'm on board.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We want to hit the milestone. You know, me and Brian have a real goal. We want to hit that first milestone of number 25, you know, and continue on, you know, in more and more milestones. So we're constantly in the lab discussing and you know, really building the world.
Yeah.
The Black Cotton reality.
BCU.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Black Cotton Universe.
BCU.
Yeah.
And that's what issue 3 is about, really. I mean, it's about a lot of things, but like one of the things that Patrick and I was really excited about was issue 3 we saw as the universe opening up, the Black Cotton universe opening up, where like we get that the premise is, you know, set in an alternate reality, you know, where the social order, white and black are reversed, and you know, and we're on the readers, a lot of, you know.
Oh, Brian may be having some technical difficulties here.
I think we're waiting for him to come through.
Are we good?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, but yeah. Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay. Perfect.
Let me see if I can.
Did someone use the microwave?
Yeah. What he was saying was issue 3. What we really wanted to show, and I think you kind of spoke to it, Steve, is that hey, they're not operating in a bubble. Yeah, you back. Yeah, they're operating in the bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's frozen.
Yeah. But
yeah, no, I like what Brian was saying about the whole like world building that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And
so we're really going to take you some places, you know, Japan. we're really going to open the world up. And issue does that. It lets you know that there is more than just, you know, them operating in Virginia or close to DC, Northern Virginia. Guess what? There are things happening all over across the waters. Because remember, in issue number 1, where was Jalissa and Xavier? They were on a plane heading overseas. So it's a lot of things that you are starting to connect the dots. And that's something that we really we also commend Marvel, you know, Universe, because they do a great job at that. To be honest, they're coming out with movies now and you're like, holy cow, that was written in the early 50s.
Yeah.
You know, and they're connecting dots and everything. So we want to take I guess you could say we want to take the good there other industries have done, and make sure that we incorporate that. We want to remove, the bad that we've seen others do so that we give the best to our fans, to the world. Black Cotton, we want it to be the best. And so far we've been hitting it out the park. Marco's killing it. We're beating ourselves up with the writing and the concept. And, hopefully, down the line when we hit that 100, number 100, people are still saying, damn, them boys.
Yeah, if you're like, we them boys coming in from
Wow, you said
we taking over.
I know.
Yeah.
He said, you know what, Brian? We're not going to stop at 25. We're going to 100.
He said 100.
Yeah, he did. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. 100.
It is minute 40 and 40, guys. So the other thing I liked is you're bringing in the Bushido, but they were flying, like you said, they were flying and they were coming back. And then you look at like a lot of the business side of things in the real world where none of this stuff is ever made in the United States. Everything's offshore. And I think that's where I was thinking, oh my, and maybe I could be wrong, but I was thinking maybe the Bushido are within this universe, they're within doing business. And sometimes business gets hairy, and sometimes you guys don't do it behind the conference rooms. You do things behind closed doors, and I think that's where the ending left. So I mean, and I could be wrong, but I just read everything. I try to read it in more than once. I try to do like my due diligence when I'm taking the mental notes, and I just want to pay homage to what you guys have kind of written down so that I can kind of make sense of it and kind of convey that message.
Here's what I'm gonna say. You will get that answer in issue number 6.
Ooh, guys, you guys better be ready.
Right trail there, Steve.
I mean, I don't want to say I'm a soothsayer, but no, I'm just kidding. Like the guys are just looking at me like, you may be wrong. And then,
no, you're spot on. Yeah.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
But before you get to number 6, your mind's gonna be blown again, especially in number 5. Number 4 is you're gonna be like, oh, whoa. But number 5,
5 is
5
is a big issue. And like you were saying, we like this has been set up from issue 1 with the airplane scene in her and Xavier. And then it was mentioned briefly in issue 2 about this business thing. In issue 3, it begins to just expand out. And so it's been there the whole time. But the cool thing is that, Black Cotton, with what is about the premise and about the shooting, that's been the focus, you're so focused on that. And the question would be like, well, where would this story go? Like, it's about the shooting, but the shooting is an event. It's an event, and there's so many events that happen because of systemic racism. So many events that happen because of, in general, just the human condition, but because of oppression, because of suppression, because of just a prejudice, of jealousy, bigotry. There's so many things and events that happen because of us that, the shooting is an event that happens because of the ills that exist in society and that has existed between races, ethnicities, nationalities, ideologies. And so while the focus has been on the shooting, Black Cotton is a universe that you're going to see different events, different experiences, because that's what life is in the real world. It's us going through experiences and events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would agree. Like for me, my entire focus was on the shooting and all the repercussions that happened from that. Because it was one of those things where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And with this world, so we're getting a different perspective. So now I'm going to have to go through my long boxes, grab issue 1 and 2, and reread it just so I can get those details. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed it. Because, you know, like in my head, I'm like this is what the plot's going to be. Like everything else is probably just noise. So I want to focus on this aspect of the book. And not knowing that it's going to be for 24 issues, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the focus. So now we're going to go back. I'm like, man.
Yeah, man.
But you know what? Like, I've enjoyed reading the book. I mean, I've enjoyed reading the 3. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to, like Steve does, like I'm going to find these other little things that you guys have kind of put there, all these little breadcrumbs. So I'm going to go reread it again.
And
it's fantastic. This is great.
And that's the joy of it. You know, when me and Brian, because me and Brian, we met January of 2020. That was the first time we met each other. We had a mutual friend, Luke Wright, phenomenal individual, author, The Right Thought. And me and him, we would go into prisons and speak. So we were coming out of Maryland, a prison we had just went and spoke to. And I was like, yo, man, I got a concept that I want to do as a comic book. And he was like, yo, I got a friend named Brian, you know, been in the comic book world more than, over 10 years. So this was in December 2019. And we all went out to lunch in January. And when I started talking to Brian, and I was like, yo, even in this world, the kindness Black. And he was like, yo, that's it. That's the name, Black Kind.
Yeah, I was when he was telling us about that story. You couldn't catch lightning in a bottle, right?
Yep.
Like, it happens, and when it happens, you guys both look at each other like, "Oh my God!" Like that was it. Yeah, that was it.
I'm back again.
That's it, man. That's it.
Technical difficulties.
You know,
whiskey.
That must be.
That means you got to refill.
Yeah. So
Later.
That day we went from lunch back to my place and we started, you know, right then and there, just started building out Black Kind. And then COVID hit and everything, you know, me and Brian, you know, we talk about the universe, we talk about religion and just understanding, you know, there are multiple things out there. And just the timing couldn't have been better. With COVID, it just, you know, opened up our time to where we could really focus on Black Kind and we really grind. And next thing you know, here we are, you know, and the world loves it. And you know how you have something and you say, this is good, you know, this is good. But you don't know how the world's going to receive it.
Mm.
And for us to be sold out in less than 4 days on the first issue, it was like wow. And then the love is just still coming and people are still enjoying it. So that just fuels us to, you know, give even go harder and more. So like I'm telling you, when this story arc finished, put your seatbelt on, cause number 2, volume number 2, man, 2, 3, and 4.
That's right, 100 issues. You hear that, Brian? Right, 100 issues.
My God. I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait.
It's interesting though because I'm totally on board with like the love and how we've been received. But something else that fuels us too, though, you know, to get the other side of the coin for that is like the hate too, because there, you know, when we run Facebook ads and just ads in general, it really opens it up to a lot of different people, like you know that bandwidth, like it's broad, and to see the comments that come on those ads is really eye-opening. And they're not like they're not pleasant at all. It's from being called racist to bigotry to you really get to see like how some people think, and it's right there in front of you, and they're responding to a story, they're responding to a comic, and it's Patrick and I have a non-response to negativity rule. We don't respond to it at all. But I read them. I read them all.
And we leave them there.
And we leave them there. Because it speaks to exactly where we are at in the 21st century in America.
Oh man,
No.
He was on.
Yeah, he had his finger going down, and
people's response to a story that reverses social order, black and white, is so intriguing to me, because you have A Man in a High Castle, and that wasn't anti-Semitic, but Black Cotton is deemed
he's probably going to say like anti-Semitic, maybe anti-Caucasian.
Yes, I was saying anti-Semitic. Yes. Yeah. So right. So I don't know what's going on with the connection here, but so A Man in a High Castle isn't deemed anti-Semitic, but Black Cotton is like, y'all racist. Like this, blah, 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 blah. Someone even said one time, like, this ain't Wakanda. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's fine. I had a guy on IG who said, and I would never forget this. He said, as a fellow artist, I have never in my life wanted someone to fail more than I want you to fail. I'm like, damn, bro.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I didn't respond back to him. He really came hard, so I blocked him. But I'm like, yo, like he really is in his feelings about this. So while we have a lot of love and we're receiving it and we're grateful for it, under the Kobe Bryant banner of hate, we gladly receive the hate too. We can be the conductor of that hate. That's fine as well.
It means you're doing something right, man. I mean, because all the people that love you want to be around you and cultivate that, and zero in on your vision. That those other haters, they're just not elevated to where those people are, man.
It's just such an interesting thing, man. Human nature, I tell you, human condition, it's something else.
And what gets me is this: you can tell the ones who have actually read the comment versus those who are just commenting. Yeah. Because when you look at the cover or when you read the log line, you come up, with a premise in your mind, but you can't truly validate that premise without reading the comment. You have to open it up and actually read it. And we've had several reviews. I've been blown away by how many reviews we've had. And on several, I'll say this. The writer will start by saying, I didn't want to read this comic book, or they'll say, I thought this comic book was something else. Mm-hmm. But when they read it, they were blown away and they were like, it's not preachy. It's not preaching. It's not, and it isn't. That's one thing that me and Brian focus on tremendously. We're not trying to preach to anybody, and we're both, if you really stripped us down to the core, we both have a teaching heart, so we want individuals to utilize this as a tool. And I say this all the time. Black Cotton is a tool that allows people to actually do a self-examination in a safe environment, because it's just you and the comic. So when you have those reactions between you and yourself, where you're able to also have that self dialogue between you and yourself, and you can ask yourself some tough questions. Well, why did I think that? I didn't even see it that way. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, guess what happens? After you do all of that, well, empathy, because now you've actually gained knowledge on other people. So you start to develop empathy and more respect for the other people. And the same with other people who are reading it. They're developing more respect for you, and you want to talk about it. It's a natural thing. Afterwards, you're like, yo, I want to talk to somebody about this. And that's all we want. We want to have conversations. Me and Brian love this right here. Having conversation with Steve and Alonzo, this is like the greatest thing for us. Let's just talk, have a conversation.
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, this is something that I've been on board for issue 1. As we've kind of built this, like Brian, we always say friends to the podcast. Brian's family. You guys are family to the podcast. We appreciate you guys and what you guys are doing. And you guys always have an open door, like for future projects.
Oh, thank you so much.
Definitely. And I mean, I'm Alonzo. Do you have another question for them as well?
Well, I just have several, but but it's not about Black Cotton. But it's just, you guys are a great team. You guys have just brought a different perspective to something we see every day. And flip that script. And when we interviewed Brian, we talked about that, and we talked about how, that just everything's different in this new world, and how you guys are bringing what we see on the news, what we see out our front door, and turning the tables in a comic book, and how it evokes all these emotions, these feelings that you have, and it makes you realize that things are they're just kind of messed up, and it's great to have that conversation. Like you said, Patrick, Steve and I talk about Black Cotton. We're like, oh my God, you just imagine this happening in today's world. If a white cop that shot, somebody of color were to just say, I'm sorry, and how impactful that would be to that person, and just to say hey, it was just a reactionary thing, and how momentous that would be,
right.
So you're right. Having that conversation, it's a good thing to have. It's a good thing always to have that dialogue, to have that open communication. So are we going to see, now I'm getting into my question. I'm sorry. Are we going to see more collaborations, something new between you both, between Patrick and Brian? Are we going to see maybe a new book come out, or just something completely different?
I'll let Brian tackle.
Brian.
Man. So here's what happened. It's a little bit of it. So maybe I can just say, I don't know. No. What was the question? The question was about
any future projects together.
Any future projects with me
and Patrick together.
And Patrick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that what
right now I think just based on Black Cotton and the work, you guys are a great team. The writing, it's phenomenal, and how the direction is with your artist and how things are coming across. I love it. I want to see more from you guys.
Let me see. Is you frozen?
Oh, he's frozen.
I think
you know what? Maybe because he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a secret, guys.
Here's what I will say. The answer to that is astounding. Yes. We actually, I don't know if he, because we've never divulged this to anybody, but we have a parking lot where we actually have 4 other, projects that just me and him are, keeping in the cut. We're working on it, keeping it in the cut. focusing on Black Cotton. But it's so funny because we'll talk about the other ones, and we're like, yo, we got to put that on the parking lot. We got to make sure we add that. So definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if latter 2022, you see something else coming from us.
Perfect. There's another question for you, Patrick. They see the Longhorns hat. They want to know, tell us about your love for a Texas barbecue, or where should he eat next?
I wish I was back in Texas. I love Texas, but I'm in Virginia, so I can't tell you where to eat next, you know. But the beauty about it for me, 7 miles from here is a good buddy of mine who just retired yesterday. I went to his retirement ceremony, and boy, can he freaking brisket, he be smoking it, and just tender, fall all apart. I brought the plate home, you know, yesterday. Yeah, he be doing the done thing. Shout out to Captain Simone, happy retirement, brother. And well, his daughter, she graduated yesterday too, but she won't be going to Texas. He was disappointed, but she got a scholarship to USC.
Oh, that's great. So another thing, because Hood Rat, he loves his barbecue. So what do you prefer better, Texas style barbecue or Southern style barbecue?
Oh, Texas, no doubt.
Okay, no
doubt. Yeah, because I mean, hey, that's what they do. They got the.
All right, here we go.
The cows that the Southerners are using came from Texas. So hey, we gotta know.
That's right, man. That's right. Well, guys, I think we're nearing towards that hour mark. And I know Alonzo and I want to thank you guys so much for jumping on the show with us and going over issue 3 of Black Cotton. We can't wait for Wednesday. It's on our pull list. I know I'm ready. But can you tell our group chat where they can find you on your social media platforms, and when issue 4 comes out, and what's in store for us in the near future, man? So please let us know.
Right? Yeah.
All right. So sorry about all the technical difficulties.
No, not at all.
Just to jump on my iPad. I don't know why I just didn't do that to begin with. But anyway, so issue 4 will be coming out, I believe, July 14th. And that would be a very interesting issue because it's a deep dive. You'll be deep diving into some intense character work that goes into the story. So please look for that. And you can find me at Brian L. Hawkins on the Twitterverse. Brian Hawkins Writes, IG, Brian Hawkins Writes, Facebook. And those are the pages, yeah.
Yeah. And you can find me, on Facebook. We got a Facebook page, Black Cotton Comics. So please, join there. We're on Instagram, Black Cotton Comic. You can look me up, Patrick D. Foreman. Definitely, you'll see I'm into a plethora of stuff. We so I'm
award-winning Patrick.
Come on, spill the beans. Let's go, Patrick.
So I put a gospel album out 2019, and I won an award from Independent Music Award for my single. Well, not single, for my song He's Able. So award-winning, gospel artist. I'm actually back in the lab working on another song right now that I'll probably drop. It'll be done in July, but I won't drop it until after issue number 6 comes out. So look for that one, because that one is crazy. Oh man, it's so good. I got Angelica Baylor on it, who's some backup for Genuine. Oh, she is phenomenal. If you don't know her, look her up. But also COO of Returning Citizen magazine nationwide. We're on the tablets. We're in almost all the prisons. And it just basically, assists individuals with transitioning back into society, successfully transitioning back into society. And that just comes from, like I said, me and Brian, we really want people, and not just, I don't want to say people excluding us from it. No, we want growth for all, to include me and Brian, because the product of Black Kind is from all of the discussions that we've had, and we have identified implicit bias within each other.
Absolutely.
We're like, oh snap. I can tell you one time he was like, "You're protecting Zion."
I'll never forget that conversation.
So we are growing too as we write Black Cotton, which is why it really strikes to the heart of people, because you're seeing our growth also happening on the pages. So definitely hit me up, Patrick D. Foreman. If you just Google my name, it'll pop up, you'll see. And please Google, Black Cotton Comic and read some of those reviews. If you haven't read the reviews, and then I guarantee, you'll want to read it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just so you guys know, in the chat and for people watching the rewind, I put both Brian's and Patrick's social media pages. I put them in the description. So just click the links and you'll be taken to either their Twitterverse or to their Instagram posts. So just make sure that to subscribe to them. And also, too, I did put the Facebook page on the live chat. So make sure you click on that as well. I know I just subscribed because I didn't even know. So I just subscribed to their Facebook page for Black Cotton. And I'm looking forward to getting more information. This is great.
Yeah. And definitely forward this interview out. Y'all just forward blast it out, because this has been one of the greatest interviews we've done in a while. And it's the first one we've talked about, issue number 3. So definitely push it out, because issue number 3 is crucial to definitely the BCU. You want to read issue number 3, and it's only going to make you want to read issue number 1 and number 2. And it's going to wait here. Okay, here's the last thing I'll say. I'm the collector of the 2. So the covers that are coming out, you don't want to miss them.
There's been fire cover, guys. The incentives are awesome, guys.
Oh, wait till you see 5 and 6. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah. Be on the lookout.
You know what?
They're gonna sell out.
You hit it so hard that Brian froze for a minute.
Yeah, man.
I think you froze again.
Yeah.
See? Look what you're doing, Patrick.
He probably wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, Brian. Yeah, he's like, no. He's like, a couple more
Don't
things.
spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't do it.
He's setting it up. But with that being said, guys, that is it for our episode. We want to thank Patrick and Brian for coming on. Definitely hit those notifications, hit those likes, comments, drop comments if you have questions. We will get a hold of Patrick and Brian. We will bring them back for the next couple of issues, and we can't wait to bring them back on. Y'all support them. This community is an awesome community. Yes. Support our writers, support our creators, support our artists, and let's build each other. Like everybody says, we got to grow together. So let's do it, guys. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close the show with, if you want to do it right, read what you like. Don't forget to catch us 7 p.m. Double Dose, top picks of the week. Peace.
Peace.